Bonjour. I was reading today some words from James Baldwin. He's a black American writer who lived in the 30s, and basically Baldwin was saying that being black American in the 30s in the USA was not the easiest way to feel free of expressing and being yourself. And he was saying that that political violence was not a psychological one, it was deeply a political one. And from that, you were not responsible from it, but you were suffering from it. And he says, Baldwin says that if, even though we are not responsible from political violence, we are responsible from feeling and being free from it. And from there, I was just doing a parallel with psychological violence, or what I prefer calling the societal representation with a sociological frame. And there I'm thinking of all the representation of what a child should be and behave, same for a woman, same for a man. And thinking again of children or women, because these are the populations I'm working with. Yes, the individual is not responsible from the violence they can suffer from, like bullying or bad treatment. The only freedom they can get is from themselves, and then they can reach different persons in their life that can help if ever they need support. But is it a must do? Because Baldwin is say it's a duty to get freedom from political violence from him. In the societal representation, psychological representation, is it a duty? I wouldn't say so. From my work, from life experience, I believe we feel more free and more relaxed when we have worked on our suffering and difficulties. But is it a must do? Is it a way to ultimately feel better? I will let you judge that. There is a book I was thinking about as well. Is I don't know if you will see it. No, of course you'll see it reversed. It's called The Essential from Alice Miller. She's an American psychologist. It's a very old book and I absolutely love it. And she's really writing in that book around childhood and the status of the children. And she says that it is okay, you can allow yourself to dislike, to not love your parents, your first role models, or at least part of them when you were hurt by them, for example. And it was when Miller wrote that, it was quite a novelty, because you were not supposed, and still not easy, to allow ourselves to not like and sometimes disagree or hate what our parents or carers have done to us because they've hurt us. But this is something which is very worth considering. And as I very often say to the people I'm working with, the moment you can consider your parents, your carers, as persons, adults to adults, and not only the carers or the parents, the mom or the dad, then you've reached a big step towards your own freedom to be and freedom to think. So I think it's very interesting. Sorry, I'm going back, very confusing here maybe, but I'm going back to Baldwin because he was saying something that resonates a lot with the work I'm doing. He says that when we are hurt by, well, for Baldwin it is political responsibility, then the individual feel guilty, and what he says, yes, guilty, no, that's what he says, basically guilty. And this guilt is something that is so often present in the work I'm doing with women and children, the guilt. So once you see yourself as an individual, separated from the others. When I say separated, it's psychologically, it doesn't mean we are separated, because actually I think we are all connected, but the individual also being as an entity and not always drawn or linked or to others, then you reach quite a beautiful freedom. Anyway, that was my thought for the day. I have not prepared it at all, so hopefully it is clear enough. If you have any question, please feel free, drop them in the comments and I will answer them. Au revoir.